Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Ashley Brianna Eve, where we combine the stars with the stars to understand breaking pop culture news on a different and more nuanced level around here. So today I have some shocking news about Jenny Slate that we're going to get into. And I'm going to be honest, I've gone back and forth about her because, well, about how I'm going to present her. And I think I'm going to leave out a lot of the tweets that she has made previously because it's just really horrific. She doesn't seem like a good person at all. Hello, good morning. She doesn't seem like a good person at all. And she said some horrific things on Twitter, when it was Twitter, that I don't even feel comfortable sharing or repeating. So we're going to go over kind of Jenny Slate's problematic past. Oh, let me make sure I have the video ready to go as well. I believe I do. Okay, perfect. I have so many tabs of what I want to talk to you guys about. Oh my gosh. And I do have calls back to back today. So we have to stay on track today. I'm on a timeline. So we'll go over that with her, kind of her problematic past. We're going to go over an interview where she admitted to beating Chris Evans. And then at the end, we're going to look briefly at her human design and natal chart. So for those that aren't really here for the astrology and human design, you're like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe I might be interested. I'm going to put it at the end. Good morning, Mel. So that everyone here that does love astrology and human design still gets that viewpoint, but it'll just be at the end. However, before we get there, I want to pull up Taylor Swift very quickly, very briefly. Did everyone see yesterday? Let me grab the link. I think the link's still on my phone. Oh, where did I put it? There we go. Did everyone see that? Hello, Mel. Both Mels are here. Good morning. Good evening. That Taylor Swift's PR hit the ground running after Brian Friedman had said that she's going to be deposed. Let me know if you saw that. Let me just get things organized here. We're just going to get settled as everyone jumps on. All right, let's pull up Taylor first. We're going to do this briefly. But for me, it's like, I just feel it's really important to understand what's going on here. And it's a PR war. And also not just a PR war, but also Taylor's very effective. Well, her PR team, Tree Payne, very effective at SEO manipulation. And not just her, other celebrities are as well. But I just wanted to address that as well, because now, I don't know if you guys remember when I did a previous live stream, I said the only way I can see Blake going to the Super Bowl is to fix the SEO on how if you search, it's still like Taylor Swift dragon. Taylor Swift gets dragged into the court case. And so I said the only way I could see her going to the Super Bowl is if it was to fix SEO. And I think this was their way to try and fix SEO. But let me pull up. So we know it's PR, guys. I know there's a lot of Swifties in the family here. It's PR. It was all of a sudden, every major publication had sources from Taylor that were saying different, like not different things, but against Blake, essentially. So we're going to look at that briefly, and we're going to play a little clip from Candace because I actually believe I'm in agreement with Candace that something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. So Taylor Swift, bad blood with Blake Lively. I'm not your dragon. So ridiculous. And so, but that's like also the SEO piece, right, guys? Like I understand SEO from helping brands and building brands. Now, when you pull up like Taylor Swift Dragon, this is going to go to the top where it's like, I had nothing to do with this. So she says that, she just showed up. So Justin says, he's ambushed by all of them. But the well-connected source close to Taylor tells TMZ Taylor came to Blake's apartment at the time Blake told her to. She had no idea who would be there. She had no idea. In other words, Taylor had no idea there was a meeting going on with Justin. I don't believe that for a second. The source goes on to say Justin was about to leave after the 2-hour meeting as Taylor walked in, and she was introduced to him for the first and only time. We're told all Taylor said to Justin was how excited she was to see the movie because he was her friend's boss. I want you to put a little bit of a pin in that because the text messages, I feel, prove otherwise. Our source says Taylor believes Blake timed her meeting with Justin so Taylor would arrive before he left, is baffled by Blake later characterizing her as a dragon. She said, it's weird to say about your friend. And there's more. The source says Taylor is also learning Blake has been inappropriately leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. All right, before we get into Jenny Slate, though, like, I just have to update who follows blind items. So I do. I know that a lot of the community does here. This came out last night. So it says, speaking of actress in number 2. So the number 2, they're referring to the blind item number 2, which was that Blake and Ryan aren't living together right now. Like that. And we've been getting a lot of blinds that they're going to divorce. Hello, Vanessa. Good morning. So nice to see you. Hello, Felicia. Welcome to the chat. Flake is a man basher. Yeah. So what we're seeing in the blinds is a lot of like potential divorce for them. So the number 2 that it's referencing here is in regards to the blind item number 2, which said that they're not living together. And previously, earlier yesterday, it was saying Ryan's ego just can't survive this. So speaking of actress number 2, so that's Blake, the song could be used as long as the production got rid of the hired composer this A+ lister didn't like. So we already know that, right? Like we know who they're talking about because that was in Justin's complaint, or not his complaint, his lawsuit was like Taylor came in and got rid of the composer, her and Blake, because apparently Taylor didn't like him or her. I don't know if it was ever said if it was a him or her. The young actor was cast after the A+ lister helped select them. So to me, maybe baby number 5. Yeah, maybe. To me, that's the blind item coming out and basically calling Taylor a liar, that you did actually have a hand in Isabella being hired. Don't pull this game. The A+ lister doesn't show up to private residences without knowing who is going to be there for security reasons. Having the A+ lister deposed is a worst case scenario for the acting couple. So it's a very welcome, no, they don't live together. Apparently not. That's what the blind items are saying, that Blake and Ryan. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you. Thank you to you guys. And Vanessa's always reminding everyone, you guys always remind everyone, because I forget to like and subscribe, because I always forget to say that. This is you guys that have done that. So another thing I wanted to look at is I pulled up. Now watch this. I went through the lawsuit. If I can find it I need glasses. Where is it? Why is it not showing up? There it is. Okay, perfect. So she's saying that like, no, Taylor says, no, I just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I was just walking in and I said, hey, because it's my friend's boss. But then we have these text messages where Justin says, great, also was working on rooftop scene today. I really love what you did. It really does help a lot. Makes it so much more fun and interesting. And I would have felt that way without Ryan and Taylor. You really are a talent across the board. Really excited and grateful to do this together. So for me, like if she had literally just said, oh, hey, nice to meet you. Why? Like he wouldn't have said that. He obviously felt pressured by them. And his lawsuit says that he felt pressured, but the text message supports that. So I don't believe Taylor. I don't know. You guys tell me, do you believe? Well, and that's weird too. Yeah. Summoning your boss to their house to talk about work. And I agree. Makes sense. Why would Taylor go anywhere without knowing who's there? She has to. She has to. There's no way at her level, like I know they're friends, but still, like at her level with her security wouldn't allow it to happen. Even if she was like, it's totally fine. At a celebrity. Hello, Leo. So nice to see you. Oh, me. Wait. We're getting there. I promise you guys, we're getting into the whole Jenny Slate of it all. But I am back to back on calls today. I was originally going to do 2 streams and I'm like, I can't. So we're just going to fit this in first. And then Candace makes another great point. So we'll look at Candace. We're going to look at one other incredible creator, Melanie, and what she had to say about the situation. And then we're just going to flip over. I just want to like plant that seed because for me, it's SEO and manipulation. Like it's trying to get in your head, like a little weasel in your brain. And it just drives me crazy. I know you guys are too smart for that, but just putting it up there. Okay. So let's hang out with Candace for a minute, see what she has to say. She makes a great point. She makes a lot of great points, but
WME, that was also a part of it. Like Taylor Swift is a godmother to our children. So is it possible that they use her name that when she's not there and she's not aware? Sure. But let me tell you why I think Taylor Swift is lying. Here's an element where I believe she's just flat out caught lying. Okay. So maybe she had nothing to do with Isabella Ferrera's casting, but we do know that her song was featured, and that at one point to feature her song, she got somebody fired. That is the allegation that is made. And she's curiously not responding to that she didn't like Brian Tyler. I think they worked together on the Lorax, literally like the Lorax movie at some point. Maybe it was something else, but she got someone fired from the film. I'd like to hear her respond to that. And we do also know that she's not being truthful about what happened that night at the penthouse. She's saying it was like, hi, bye, love the film.
Oh, she also touches on this. So we'll just hear Candace say it as well.
You're her boss. Not true. Here is the verbiage from Justin Baldoni's lawsuit. And I'll tell you why we can instantly discern that he's telling the truth. It's basically starting with Baldoni realizing that Blake was upset by him not being overly excited about her changes. Seemingly stung by Baldoni's exceedingly mild resistance, Lively did not respond and went silent for multiple days. Later, she confirmed in a text message below that Baldoni's response of course, didn't feel great for me or another mega celebrity friend and Ryan Reynolds to have my passion praised instead of my specific contribution. Lively was referring to an earlier meeting where Lively summoned Baldoni to her New York penthouse, where Baldoni was greeted by Ryan Reynolds, who launched into enthusiastic praise for Lively's version of the scene. That checks out. Hours later, as the meeting was ending, him and Taylor Swift are agreeing here, a famous and famously close friend of Reynolds and Lively walked into the room and similarly began praising Lively's script. Baldoni then understood that it meant that he had to comply with Lively's direction for the script.
So that's one thing. But then, oh, Vanessa, you're so kind. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love you guys. You guys are going to make me cry. It's so crazy that I just get to hang out with friends and talk about this stuff. You guys are going to actually make me cry. It's a dream come true, honestly. Yeah, I think there's wait till you see this. Melanie King, who I just love. I missed this. All right, it's at the 1 minute mark.
People put out today, included in this, to be extra vicious, extra shady, extra like, bitch, I don't know you. Not like that. They're now saying this is what is everywhere. She's the godmother of one of their kids. So she didn't disown the kids. Either that, or was Blake Lively and them lying all these years and saying that she was the godmother of her three of her kids? Or because Taylor never corrected this before, but now all the PR, which we know it is because it's all coordinated, it's all the same story everywhere, right? So now the PR saying, fuck them kids. Child, they vicious.
She's a hoot. I really like her. All right, guys. So what do you think? We're going to leave Taylor at that. I just could not, oh my gosh, watch this amended lawsuit come out today. And I'm like, I have calls all day. We're going to be streaming till midnight. Did you have super chats before or just after 2,000 subscribers? You guys got me to super chats. I just got it the other day. I had started this channel over. Some of you guys that have been here from the beginning know that this channel used to be like solely human design and astrology. And I always dreamed of like combining pop culture with it. But I always told myself no one would care about that. And I was like, no one will care and no one will want to watch that. And so I started the channel over in January, not realizing you lose like everything. So I lost all my watch hours. I lost everything. But thanks to you guys, in like record time, you guys got the channel back. So it's gonna make me, it's the moon trine Saturn conjunct Jupiter today. I'm very emotional today. Okay. That's the astrology, a quick astrology update for you guys today. All right. Are you guys, I feel sick thinking about, are you guys ready for Jenny Slate? I don't even know where to start with this woman. Okay, let's start here. So I made an executive decision to not go through all of her tweets because for me, even like we're empaths here, for me to even be in the energy of a lot of these tweets makes me ill. And I think honestly, that's what gave me the stomach flu, was like being around the energy of these people and how manipulative and awful they are. I honestly believe, because it was after I read the lawsuit where I all of a sudden had the stomach flu. So I'm also protecting my energy, your energy. Hello, Lily. Welcome to the chat. Thank you, Vanessa. I appreciate you so much. Okay. So one of you guys are like sleuths and supporting the channel as well. You guys are in my DMs, you're in my email, you're sending me all these tips. And the other day when I had said someone is a hesitant yes, we pulled tarot and I said someone is a hesitant yes to come out and support Blake against Justin. And you guys kept saying like, I think it's Jenny. And then someone the other day left a note and said, did you know that she used to hit Chris Evans? Someone left it in the comments. And I said, what? I said, let me look into this last night. It was like me. I'm not even kidding, guys. I'm like so exhausted by the end of the day because I have like 5-hour client calls during the day. And then I'm like on with you guys and then searching in my little bit of free time, plus have the farm and the animals. And we run a farm animal sanctuary. So, you know, all the support of the channel also goes to support all the animals we've rescued at the farm. I promise I'm going to video you guys a video to introduce you to all of the farm animals we have that we've rescued. But last night I was just like, couldn't stop. My husband's like, do you want a snack or something? You haven't stopped. I'm like, yeah, sure. Give me a snack. Found this. So not like I found this in trying to find the interview, which we will also play, the interview of her admitting that she used to beat Chris Evans. So girl, Blake, this is not a good move for you. This is not a good move to pull Jenny into this. And maybe that's why she was always a hesitant yes. Mel, you guys are actually going to make me cry today. I can't handle it. I appreciate you guys so much. I'm going to film you guys a video of the animals because now I'm getting emotional. My dream was always to open a farm animal sanctuary. And so when my previous business in branding and marketing got big enough where we could purchase a farm, that was the first thing we did. And it's not easy to run a farm animal sanctuary or cheap. So the support means I'm not really an emotional person. So it really, yeah. Good morning, Shay. Oh my goodness. Did you miss the Melanie King and the Candace Owens clips we played? Oh my goodness. You're gonna have to watch this start over again. It was wild. Okay. So let's dive into this. So I found this on a Chris Evans thread on Reddit. And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read little snippets. Is it okay to bring up Jenny Slate? I recently read some things and just want to know if anyone else did, if there's any truth behind it. So apparently, you know, this is 4 years ago. 4 years ago. She's a controversial topic. I didn't know anything about her until It Ends With Us, to be honest. I had no idea who she was. So it says, reading various things ranging from how trashy and gross she was, posting nasty things on Twitter. There's a couple I'll pull up of people pushing back on her, but I'm not going to pull up all of it because it's atrocious. She is a vile human being. Some people claim that she was just using Chris to prove a point and show that just because she's not a certain standard of beauty, she can still date a star like him. Apparently Chris Evans went to one of her stand-ups. Chris Evans, he's, is that Captain America? I know Thor. But is he Captain America? Yeah, this community is the best community. I love you guys. You missed it too. Well, hang out with us live and then watch it back later. Because there is some tea. There is especially some tea that the absolutely fabulous Melanie King spilled that I missed. So giving her props, sending you guys over there as well to support her. She's a much bigger channel, but I always like to shout people out and tell you where to go and support other creators. So, okay. So apparently Chris would go to her shows and he was really visibly uncomfortable at the shows. She was constantly making fun of him, making fun of his anxiety. Like, I don't know. I have anxiety. I don't know. Maybe he was okay with it, but it looks that people are saying at the show he was very uncomfortable with it. To making fun of his beard when they'd have sex. And then apparently in her book, Little Weirds, I don't know. I didn't even know she had a book. She mocked him too, calling him ignorant and saying that he talks too much. Oh, apparently there's a PDF online, which can be easily Googled. I did not read that far, apparently. All right. So I'm going to pull up. Oh my goodness, you guys. Okay. What I'm going to do this weekend, because unless there's breaking news, I don't know if I'm going to stream this weekend. I'm going to film you guys a video of all our goats and sheep and horses that we rescued. Our first goat we rescued, like we got the farm and my husband was like, okay, let's have time before we rescue animals. Right. And I was like, yeah, sure. And then I found about these goats that need to be rescued in Quebec. And I'm in, near like Toronto, Ontario. And, anyway, it was like this huge rescue effort, send friends to go pick up these goats, ended up saving more than my husband was aware of until I was like, oh, look at all the goats getting off the trailer. Look at that. But I'm going to film you guys a video this weekend introducing you to all the animals. Because that's what the channel supports ultimately. All I want to do is help animals and talk pop culture with you guys in astrology, ultimately. All right, so let's flip over. But I'm going to be very cautious on what tweets I share. Let me just make sure I have the right one. Okay. Ugh. I'm just trying to scroll down because I don't want anyone to really like, this is how bad Jenny Slate is, where like I'm really nervous about sharing some of this because it just like it's so uncomfortable and against my values and what I would say and what I believe in that it just makes me physically ill. Just like on Sunday when I kept telling you guys, it's like I am physically ill reading this, and then later that night I was. Anyone that's an empath, I feel like you can relate to that. How mean. We could all use a little kindness. I agree. How can you treat any? Yeah, she did. Mel, have you heard? Oh my goodness. Wait till you hear the clip I have for you guys. It's wild. A headset in 1 year. I'm waiting for my client for a facial and body wrap. I love this. We'll be doing the treatment, listening to the live. You're my people. Okay. So she, like, if we're going up, like, she has slurs to say for the gay community, for people that are overweight, for trans individuals. Like it's like making fun of grape. You know, I can't say the actual word, you know, making fun of SA, that thing that apparently rumor has it, she's going to be saying against Justin Baldoni to support Blake Lively, making light of it, making fun of it. I'm not going to pull up the whole thread here, but in this upper corner, this tweet here is language that perpetuates grape culture, SA culture, SH culture. Oh, this one's not too, this tweet here, I'm not going to read the ones above, but it says, if I had the memory eraser from Men in Black and I could use it, I would make some men show me their crotch and then I would erase their memories. I don't know, Blake. I feel like if this is your like your person you're pulling out of like at like the 11th hour to be like, look, society, look, someone else has issues with him from set. I would just tuck away that amended lawsuit before you leak it, girl, because that like, and people could say it's a joke or whatever. And I would argue, okay, if that's your sense of humor, and then don't come against a victim like Justin Baldoni to support someone that apparently, from what I can understand so far, his biggest fault was calling them sexy, which was taken out of context. Because what I'm finding, I was sleuthing last night, and the only thing I can find that apparently Jenny had issues with is he said her leggings were sexy or something. So we can treat men like this then and make fun of like SASH. Like, I don't know. This is wild. What do you guys think of it? It's disgusting. Like, I won't even pull up the majority of the tweets that you can find. You can find, if you guys want to sleuth and pull them up, and you can, but it is. Oh, that's actually a good point. Taylor mentioning indirectly that Joe Alwyn had depression. She did kind of poke at that. I did, I can do his human design and astrology again. I did on the old channel before I deleted everything. He's someone that's very like in touch and an empath and in touch with his feelings as well. Like they just chew up these people and spit them out. Jenny Slate making fun of Chris Evans and his anxiety. Justin has ADHD, and Blake teasing him about his sensitivity. Yep. Those are all really great points. Like just know. So yes, that is what she would do. Another slur. Somehow I walk out of the MAC makeup store looking like a baby who fooled around with a blank makeup. A slur for trans individuals. Okay, we're just going to scroll past some of these. They're really bad. So Jenny Slate then on this one said, just caught someone singing Celebrate Good Times. Come on, really softly and softly to her, slowly and softly to herself. And I'm now so worried about her mental health and safety. And this person snaps back of Jenny Slate, I suggest you review the random content of your tweets before judging the mental health of others. To be honest, you need to be concerned about your own. More fat shaming, which is interesting. If you're going to come out and say against Justin, be like, yeah, he fat shamed Blake Lively because he asked about her weight. Jenny, I don't know. You think these were scrubbed from the internet? I'm not pulling up the fat shaming ones because there's some trigger warnings in those in regards to self-harm. Because yes, she also makes fun of self-harm. Jenny Slate. Oh, yeah, she does. Oh, yeah, she does. Oh, good question, my friend. And thank you, Lemon Crash, for pointing this out, because I think sometimes I'm so immersed in like the branding culture that I forget that people don't know what SEO means. That's a good question. So search engine optimization. So search engines like Google will have rules in place. So for example, on the very mundane level, I couldn't post on my website a blog with certain SEO, which would be like keywords, for example. I couldn't post that on my website and then do the exact same thing on LinkedIn. I would be penalized by Google in their search, which is wild. However, what a lot of celebrities do, I have a video that I haven't released. I record it and I'm like, do I want to upset the Swifties? But what celebrities do is they manipulate SEO. So a good example of Taylor is when originally years, I don't know exactly the year, I can't remember, but when the algorithm was all about like Taylor Swift, climate change, private jet use, she went to a Jets game. So now in the top of the SEO for Taylor, you would see Taylor Swift at the Jets game. I think she brought Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, maybe even Hugh Jackman to that. And I think her A+ list producer was at that one. So at the top of the search engine, you always saw that and you didn't see her jet use. So what she's doing now, Taylor, in regards to like posting this in TMZ and everything of like her name attached to Blake. So if you guys go back, I'm going to say the only way I can see Taylor bringing her to the Super Bowl is to fix SEO, to manipulate SEO. She's going to want her name different in the SEO search engine when you look up Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. So I called this the other day, but I didn't call that she would do this. I just said that she needed to fix SEO for her and Blake. So let me just double check the time. I always talk too long with you guys. And I'm like, Ashley, you have calls today. Don't forget. Oh, we have some time. So what she would do is with these articles in the PR push in regards to like, I don't like who's that? Blake? I don't know her. That's fixing SEO, because now you're going to see that at the top as well as her at the Grammys versus the dragon stuff. So thank you for asking. I agree. Jokes is an excuse people use to show the real self without backlash. At the clapback. I know, like, girl, worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Let me see. I think there's a couple more that I can read or I feel comfortable reading. So Jenny Slate. So this one was, would that be the 24th of November, 2017? Here's a personal shift. Some of my comedy used to be like, I'm saying this thing because obviously the only people who say things like this are crazy. And now I'm just like, don't say that ugly thing at all. Don't use the hurtful words. Just say something better or deeper or shush and listen. And this person replying says, unsubscribe. Is this your lame attempt at some semblance of an apology for your crude, racist, transphobic, feminist when it suits you comedy that you used to do? Save your breath. So I'm telling you guys, if they, hello, welcome TR. Oh my goodness, it's so nice to have you here. It's a great family here. Make yourself at home in the chat. I love hanging out with you guys. We end up streaming daily, even if I say I'm too busy and I can't because I have too many client calls. We always seem to end up here daily. Okay. I'm not going to share this screen for this one because, again, I'm just very conscious of everyone, and I don't want anyone to ever leave this stream and feel like crap, even if it's just like sharing someone as vile as Jenny Slate's words. I'll read a couple things from it. So, and I just don't want to share it because she uses the words, and it makes me really uncomfortable. It was a bit, so this is Jenny Slate. So someone said, this is why Jenny Slate doesn't record her shows. Her true colors come out pretty easily. Also why Chris Evans is playing along with her games. Can you imagine what she'd write about him if he turns on her? And this person said, it's more than that. It's more than not liking her show. She asked an overweight man and woman how they could possibly have sex, called a gay couple a slur, asked a group of Hispanic girls if they all slept with their uncles because that's what people do. And everyone else there was a R word. So that's Jenny Slate's form of humor. That's her form of humor. And I get, I think Leo, like, I'm not like the cool kids. If it's 24 November 17, would that be 24th of November 2017? I feel like I'm so old now that I can't keep track of like where the year is. Let me go up here. Okay, yeah, October. So March 2011, some of them, like, these are for years. Like these were going on. So it looks like a lot of hers are from, this one doesn't have a date, but it looks like the person replied in 2016, potentially 8/5/16, I'm imagining. Fat shaming on 23rd of March 2011. I'm calling a woman's breast at the pool obscene. And then she says, oh, Lord, no, it's just a fat teenage boy. My bad. 2011. Because, making fun of children is also cool in this circle. I am like, my blood pressure, I'm like sweating. So we make fun of children in the circle, racist, transphobic, like feminist when it matters is what other people said in regards to her tweets, which is also what Justin Baldoni called out about Blake. Yeah, so it looks like it's a long time, though. I imagine as long as she was doing stand-up. These are her tweets. It's just, yeah, it is. If you go anywhere, I haven't gone back on her timeline that far, but they're all screenshots from hers. And they're also shared. It's a good question, TR. Before this all happened. So it's not like all of a sudden people are like, ooh, take down Jenny. No. So let me share the Reddit thread again. But don't worry, I got her words for you guys as well. So this is 4 years ago, the Reddit thread. So this is well before anyone was talking about her, well before any of this drama. So I suppose at the end of the day, like I don't have the capacity to go all the way back. I'm sure they're deleted now though. All the way back through her tweets. Although she did admit, Jenny Slate, here's a personal shift. You know, some of my comedy used to be like, I'm saying all these things because people like this are so crazy in 2017. So she did acknowledge that she was saying like obscene things. But yeah, so the concerns were coming up on Reddit in regards to Jenny and her behavior 4 years ago. So well before the drama that, because I agree, right? Like when stuff, hi Mint, welcome to the chat today, my friend. Everyone is just jumping on. You have to afterwards hang out with us live, watch the start, because Melanie King and Candace had some great nugget drops in regards to Taylor, especially Melanie King. Yeah, that's the concern, right? When things get really popular is, well, are people just like trying to drag her? But from everything I can find, these concerns and people talking out about Jenny's comedy have been going back for a very, very, very long time. Oh, Roger's got her back. She's been toxic for a long time. Yeah. Hey, P, welcome to the chat, my friend. He never made fun of Jenny Slate's nose. Yeah, it's so weird how it got blown out of proportion. When Blake made fun of her nose, he pointed out that Jenny has a matching nose, which is why she was looking right at, the part for his sister. But he's obviously comfortable with his nose. You know what I mean? That's a good point, Jane. He's comfortable with his nose. So it's not like he was like, oh yeah, I'm so uncomfortable in my nose. And that's why. Oh my goodness, guys. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. Now I'm going to ask, how do I pronounce your name, my friend? Is it Ty? I'm sorry. I'm so bad with names. Please drop it in the chat on how to properly pronounce your name. That's not comedy. Astrid, I love seeing you in the chat. Welcome. I used to be a fan. I'm sweating. I actually liked her movies and acting, but I'm not happy about this. I understand how narcissistic. This is wild. And guys, this is even the worst of it. I don't feel comfortable. You guys can Google it. They're out there. There's Reddit threads posting it. If you go into Google Images as well, there is so much of Taze. Is that closer? Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. Welcome, my friend. It's so nice to have you here. And thank you. Thank you. I'm going to video you guys all the animals that you're supporting because this means so much to me. Okay, so I love that. Okay, I'm going to Taze. You must hate when people struggle this much, my friend. You must hate, and I apologize. Okay, have you guys seen the video? The first one. Yay! Thank you. Oh, amazing. See, we have community connecting here as well. I love this. I love this community. Okay. I'm sweating as we get this next one up. I didn't even put like foundation on today because I'm like, this is going to sweat right off my face as I play this. Have you guys heard her admitting that she beat Chris Evans? So this has been going on social media as well, I think. Comedy is not just comedy. You can be comedic with a perfect punchline. Yeah. Apparently it's just the mean girl form of comedy. Yes, you've heard of this. Brazil represented in the house. I love it. That is amazing. All right. I had someone once, I just have to tell you guys a story. So a family member once said to me, well, behind a fake account, but that's for another day, that I never put like my exact location. And I'm like, well, of course not. First of all, I'm not putting my street address online, but I use Toronto. I always say like I'm close to Toronto. And they're like, you're a couple hours away from Toronto. I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, that's a lie. And I said, my community is literally international. If I give like a little cow town in the middle of nowhere, no one knows where that is. But you say Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and people generally know where that is. So I am for anyone in the Toronto area, that is where I am in Ontario. I grew up across the border from Michigan, though. Okay. All right. Ashley, can you tell I'm trying to avoid this? Just do it.
I met this woman like a month ago, and we were in a restaurant. She took off her sweater and she had a tank top underneath. She was like really.
I went too far, a little bit back, but just hang in there.
Cool, smart, and she had armpit hair, and she wasn't like making a statement. That was just her and her body, and I just felt like it's really not about what you have or don't have or what you're showing. It's just about self-love and feeling like you don't have to bend over backwards for the male gaze. That's just like, I don't want to live that way. But then I have my own style. And I'm like, honestly, my personal style means I have like a trimmed bush and I shave my armpits because that's what I like.
Okay, and we're gonna post a picture of your bush on the
Okay, let's
Me
see.
too.
I want people to, I don't know,
Like your bush.
like my bush.
I don't want people to say that like
Oh my
I'm
God,
ugly.
guys. Okay,
You know, I
before
don't
we move
like
to
want
Jenny
anyone to
Slate.
think that, but I also don't want to. I have never hit anybody as much as I hit Chris. And when I came
Who
back,
starts it? Who's the one that
Me.
instigates it?
I don't know what it was, but I never hit anybody in
Look
my
at it,
life.
look at him.
And then I met Chris. I love
right
it.
here, right now. You literally
Dear
slapped him
listeners,
on the face.
I slapped him
Jenny
so much. I
Slate
love
is
it.
evidence
We have
there.
where's that GIF?
I need them to sign
I
release
hit
forms.
him
You're
so
someone
much.
getting injured.
I
Oh,
came
I
back
can't see that
from
over here,
making
but-
our movie and hit some of my friends because I was so used to just hitting Chris all the time. And a couple of my friends were like, you know what? We really don't like it. And I
You're
hit my
playing
husband
rough.
and he was like, nobody likes that. Like, you shouldn't hit people. And I was like,
No.
oh my God,
But just
you're right.
Chris-
There's only
Chris,
one person.
You know
I hit.
your own strength because you're a strong dude. You're like,
Okay, so just gonna pause for a second. So she thinks it's funny, right, to hit and beat apparently Chris Evans and to hit other people. And again, it's just so interesting with her. It's like she thinks all of this is hilarious. Yet what? You're gonna come out against Justin Baldoni because he called your tights sexy? Apparently, this is what the rumor is. And you're upset with him because he said you guys have similar noses when he seems very yes. Yes, Mel. You got it. We've learned a little bit too much of Jenny today on this channel. I apologize by rewinding too far.
Lenny from Of
Well,
Mice
that's
and Men.
the other thing. No, is that I
Are you
realized he
saying
was
I'm
letting me
like-
do it. Like, I thought, I was like, I'm beating this asshole up. Like, I'm killing him. And then there was one day where he like grabbed my wrist and it was like, oh, he's letting me do this. I have I'm like a baby and he's letting me win.
I don't know. I grew up with four siblings.
Yeah.
We were, you get this. That's like, I don't know.
I haven't listened further than that. We'll listen a little bit further, but what do you guys think? Oh my goodness. I know Ontario well. Amazing. We are under so much snow. I'm like praying for a day where I'm not under 4 feet of snow. I feel like an ice princess visiting my chickens because I had to like dig tunnels into their doors. Yeah. That you would even it's all a big joke for her. It's all a big joke to be racist. It's all a big joke to be homophobic. It's all a big joke to beat your partner. It is all a big joke for her. It is wild. And this is your star witness. This is your star supporter. Blake. Wow. I haven't listened any further. We'll see if she says anything else.
It's rough housing. Rough housing.
And I grew up with sisters, and then like I met Chris, and I was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." I love it.
But
This is never
okay,
gonna end.
and I'm gonna get to our quiz here in a second. But Chris, do you guys feel like because you're hugely famous, do you feel like, especially when you meet new people, that people have a hard time adjusting to like being
Okay, I think that's all about her beating her partner at the time. Whew. Yeah, I agree. Joking about his beta male behavior. Yeah, it's like so many microaggressions. That's the rumor of what's going. That's what leaks are saying. Apparently, inside sources are saying that he called her tights sexy, And that's why she has a problem with him. I had commented on Twitter. I wish I had saved that thread. But I commented on Twitter. I was like, if this entire case, if Blake's entire case rests on him calling her sexy in the one scene and him calling Jenny Slate's tight sexy, that is wild. Like, if that's your whole, it's wild. Yeah, she'll get torn. Oh, yeah. She's going to be torn to shreds. Because this stuff, like, I don't know if anyone else is talking about this, all of this, and found the tweets. I'm just nosy. So I was just like online searching. And I don't know if Julia, stop being a brat. It's my dog. I don't know if anyone else is talking about this, but everyone's going to be all over this. If she comes out, people will find this very quickly. Oh, interesting. Anna Faris also dated Chris Evans. I think she's another one with insecurities who uses aggressive humor to stand up. I think the jury will see how batshit crazy this is. This is wild. And publicly letting the world know that you treat someone like that. I don't know. You should have boundaries when it comes to the details. You let people know about your relationship. Yes, Mel, I agree. Yeah. Yep. That is what we just played from Jenny Slate's mouth herself. So I showed you guys the tweets of the things she said. Showed you, or let you hear it from her own mouth as well, that she beat him so much and he let her, but then one day he grabbed her wrist, which, yeah, I imagine. Oh, she was in Parks and Rec. Interesting. I didn't watch it front to back, but I didn't realize she was in it. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Blake files something. I wouldn't at all. All right, let's just pull up her astrology quick. We'll pull up her human design astrology quick. For those who are like, I don't care about that, you can hop off. I think that was all I felt comfortable sharing about her. Let me just double check my tab. So, yeah, that was all I felt comfortable sharing about her. But like I said, you can find a lot of these on Google as well, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to pull it up. Let me get it here. Before I share it, I just want to pull down so I have all my clients' charts ready for today. So just give me 2 seconds to pull it up. And then we'll look at her astrology. Her astrology is interesting. At first look of her astrology for Jenny Slate, I was like, I don't see it. Like, I don't see, because it's very much like the healer energy, and someone like pick your jaw up off the floor, because I know it's hard to believe, but like the healer energy and, you know, supporting people and helping people heal. But then when you start to get into the shadows of her chart, so we're going to go over some like pretty big shadows within her chart. I'm actually surprised, and I don't mean this as a slight to manifestors at all. At all. If you're a manifestor, please don't take it like that. I thought she would be a manifester. I was actually surprised that she's a generator. I really like manifestor energy, but she just like has that kind of like the manifestor aura pushes against everyone else's aura, and I just felt that from her. Believe it or not, I am horrified. She has the same incarnation cross as me, right angle cross is service, which is like being of service to people, helping people, doing good in the world. I use my service is for animals. I always say that's my life purpose, to help animals. But Jenny Slate is also the right angle cross of service, which is wild to me. She's a generator. You know, it's weird. It's weird on first glance when you look at her chart. I'm not going to lie, because her human design is like acceptance and openness. Her personality sun is 70% of her energy. Now, the gate of opinions could be a shadow. Doesn't mean you have nice opinions. Doesn't mean they're inclusive opinions. So she could be really in the shadow of that. But with a line 1 openness, like, I think she's just so in the shadow that she's using her openness and her opinions to hurt people. Now, is she going to change? I think, because remember, how do I find mine? Let me pull up. I'll get you the official website so you don't get, so that you do get the right information. So that's at the jovianarchive.com/getyourchart. That's going to be where you can get your human design body graph. Jovian Archive is the official. So I'm trained by the official schools. There's a lot of bad information online about human design. So that's where I would recommend you go, guys. If you're interested in it in terms of business, I have a Brand by Design podcast, and it's got like 202 episodes. So if you're wondering, it's more business oriented. It's my older podcast. I haven't updated it recently, but it has like a lot of good information. But that's Brand by Design. You can find it anywhere. So yeah, like I would say, looking at her chart, this is someone that could really use their opinions for good, because that's a collective energy that could really change the world. Like she sees what she has to fix with the 58 to 18, and she uses that. It's a channel of judgment, and it's like this energy to like correct the patterns, which is why I have this channel too. It's wild to me because that energy, especially with the right angle cross of service for Jenny Slate, is typically going to be used for, you see what's wrong. Like this is someone that, you know, for me, I see what's wrong with like in the world for animals. I hate seeing animals abused. I hate seeing innocents taken advantage of. And so with my 58 to 18, I judge the patterns that are out there. And then I put myself to service, right angle cross of service. I mean, the shadow of that can be, well, the shadow of the channel of judgment can be manipulative. It can be so critical of others that you're putting them down, like judging others. So again, I think she's just so in the shadow. There is a potential for her chart, especially when we get over to the natal chart. Let me know if you guys have pulled up your human design. I'd love to know what design you are. Oh, thank you. If this is who Blake is hoping comes forward to support her, she must be desperate AF. Yeah, if this is your only person that's supporting you, you got issues. You guys are going to make me cry today. Hurt people. Yep. You're welcome, Shay. Let me know what you get. I'm so curious. If you feel comfortable sharing, you don't have to, of course. Or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram. But yeah, and I'll admit, actually, the more I sit with this and feel into this, because I do tend to, when I pull up the chart. So for those that are newer to human design, I'm going to give you guys a crash course. All right. So for those that are like, I like astrology, but I don't know what you're talking about with this human design. It's astrology, essentially. So everything that's red is your astrology from 88 days before your birth. And then everything that's black is your astrology from your moment of birth. So all it's doing in terms of astrology is like making it a bit more practical, right? So it's giving more words to it for you. That's why I like to combine both, because the human design gives us like the practical application, and then I do esoteric astrology. So we get like the both and, because I always love to give my clients practical steps they can walk away with and apply to their life. So I find with the both of them, it really gives us both that spiritual view as well as the practical application view. So yes, you're going to have 88 days before your birth is design, and then moment of birth is personality. Anything, so these boxes and shapes are called centers. They're based off of the chakra system, but they're centers in human design. Anything that's colored in is an inherent strength you have. So one of Jenny Slate's strengths is acceptance. I don't know, not after seeing those tweets, but a strength of hers as well within acceptance is gate of opinions. So that's going to be your personality sun. That would be considered your life work. And we can have like the exalted state of that, right? Like for her, it'd be using her opinions or seeing what's wrong with the world, the 58 to 18, that's a collective energy, seeing what's wrong with the world and bringing her opinions, like what she sees needs to be fixed. She has a channel of power, 34 to 57, like using her power, using her influence, and bringing her ideas out into the world to be of service to help others. Like that's literally, if I had a minute to tell her what her energy is, that is her energy. But again, you can also use your power, channel of power, to be overly critical of people, channel of judgment, and judge people and manipulate people, and then have these outrageous opinions that hurt people. You could absolutely have the shadow of that. And I try to go into it with seeing it as the positive, because I have so many clients that come to me seeing their design as the negative. So I have to like flip it. When I know I'm looking at someone that's made those tweets and has had that history, I like have to flip it in my brain, because it's so hard for me to just like see it that way. But that's how she could be using her human design, is like, I use my power, and she could like channel of power is also understanding power, right? So for her, it might be like, because I understand power, Blake and Ryan have more power. So it makes more sense for me to be on their side and to judge the things they judge, channel a judgment, and, you know, share their opinions, rather than what her strength is very unique opinions based on her own ideas of what needs to be fixed so that she can help others. Like her chart, believe it or not, and her natal chart's the same. It's like a lot of helping energy, a lot of healing energy, which is really hard to wrap your head around when we've just come from that. So yeah, so anything that's defined, my friends, anything that's colored in. So you have the head center at the top, and that's open. So that's where you take in energy. Anything that's white is where you take in energy. The ajna is second, throat is the box, G center is the diamond in the middle, ego or willpower is the little triangle. The sacral is the red square. To the left of the sacral is the splenic center. To the right is the solar plexus. And on the bottom is the root center. So I am just like sweating over this. What time are we at? All right. Oh, give me 1 second. Are you there? Sorry, guys. Can you call back about Alaska? Oh, okay. Thank you. Sorry, guys. I just got an update on Alaska's blood work because he was in the hospital, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have to make sure someone calls them. All right. Are you guys interested in seeing her? Says I'm a generator. I'm a generator as well. Profile 4/6. Amazing. I'm a 4/6 generator. Jenny Slate is exhausting me, and actually hasn't even shown us all the tweets. Yeah. Literally. They have the same mean girl. I agree. Same mean girl, sense of humor. 4/6. I love that. Some people feel that using what someone previously said against them is unfair. I feel it gives me insight into their character and compare their current behavior. Exactly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, thank you for saying that, Peaks. I want to actually, that reminded me, generator responding. I'm going to like get you guys all on the human design train. Don't worry. So generator responding, when I see that, I'm always of the mindset, if someone has gone on the path to improve themselves and they're genuinely showing an effort to improve themselves, like we all have a past. And like Justin, you know, it seems like he said like he's had some stuff happen and he's gone on the spiritual path and he's healed. If she's coming out against him, though, I find it hard to believe. Shay 3-5, I love that. I love fifth line energy. So through trial and error, 3 line is going to be trial and error, and the 5 line is like the leader archetype. Raru, who used to say the hopes and dreams of humanity rest on the shoulders of the 5th line. So no pressure, but just the hopes and dreams of humanity rest on you, Shay. All right, let's pull up her astrology briefly, and then I'm going to try and get a quick bite to eat before I jump on client calls. But yes, where I was going with that is like, you know, we all have a past. We've all done stupid shit, but I don't see like her way of saying that she's trying to improve is like, stop saying what you think out loud is basically what she said. And that to me is just, oh, no, we don't want today's. We want Jenny's. Okay, so again, with her astrology, like the first pass, but it's like I have to like switch my brain again, because when I look at a chart, if I'm sitting down with a client, I'm looking at the positive. My background's in psychology. I'm a certified positive psychology coach. So I'm always looking at what is this person's strengths and the wisdom they've gained. So again, when I come into it with someone like Jenny Slate that has this, like obviously not having used her chart properly, I have to switch in my brain. Because the first thing I see with her chart is this is a healer. In her natal chart, I'm like, this is a healer. This is someone that has the potential with her sun and moon, with the placement of Chiron, to be a healer. And when I first pulled up her chart, I haven't really pulled it apart much, but I pulled it up last night when I was like, I was getting messages from you guys and you're like, you have to look into Jenny. You have to look into Jenny. At first I thought, this doesn't fit. This doesn't fit the person that like I'm seeing and getting to know through all these tweets, through the Reddit threads, like it just doesn't fit. And it isn't until you start to pull back the layers that you see how her shadow starts to form. So when we look at the sun and the moon, yeah, that has a lot of potential in the 10th house, has a lot of potential to be the healer, but it also has the potential to be very self-centered. It has the potential to be very narrow-minded. Now, if we think back to her human design, it's supposed to be openness. And that is the sun and moon conjunct in the 10th house when it's aligned, is this open-mindedness. But she, in the shadow, this placement is very narrow-minded, lacking objectivity, very critical of others. And that can, because 10th house career, negatively impact her career. Now, we also have, so for those that might be newer to the channel, I do more esoteric astrology. So if you're looking at my natal chart and the natal chart for Jenny here, this is not mine, the natal chart for Jenny here, you're like, what are all these? Like, what is going on here? I put all of the, not all, my other computer has all of them. It's just too much if I put all of them, but I put a lot of the esoteric points. So you're going to see like Hades and Lilith, White Moon Lilith. You're going to see Hecate, Isis, Persephone. Did I say Poseidon? Poseidon. Who else? We look at Vesta here. Psyche is another one we look at. Hygeia. We're looking at Kronos energy, Eris energy, the 4 royal stars, Algol. So my astrology and how I read a chart might feel a little bit different because I'm actually not just looking at our solar system. I'm looking at a lot of asteroids, or what is called in what's called in esoteric astrology hypothetical points. Use quotes because they're not hypothetical, but that's what they call them. So when we're looking at the sun trine Lilith, that's typically a really good energy. Now Lilith is kind of, she's Lilith. She can be kind of unpredictable energy. And so when we look at the sun trine Lilith, that can be very much someone that's here to challenge the status quo. Well, what do we see in her human design? We saw in her human design that she's here to be of service, to correct the patterns and use her power to help people, use her power to bring these new revolutionary ideas out and opinions out that help change the world, because that's a collective. Correcting the patterns is a collective channel. You're going to have individual, tribal, and collective in your body graph. So yeah, that's a potential with her sun in Lilith. However, this can also be seen as arrogance. So the shadow of this is like, I'm kind of better than everyone. And, I'm going to say what I want because it's about me. I'm going to say what I want because, I have the power. Who are you going to tell me that I'm wrong? And that can be another energy of this distorted Lilith. Like when you think back to the goddess mythology of Lilith, because that's Black Moon Lilith, right? So now we're getting like, okay, we're getting like, or drugs. Yeah, it's true. Maybe mental health issues or drugs. Yes. There's something. Could have been drugs for sure. God only knows as a comedian. Lilith was Adam's first wife, but she refused to submit. And so when she refused to submit, she got kicked out of the Garden of Eden and she went on this rampage. She wasn't allowed to have babies. She wanted babies. Anyway, she was like sleeping with demons and stuff. Like distorted Lilith she's a hot mess. Distorted Lilith is a hot mess. But we've all experienced distorted Lilith at some point in our life to some degree, right? Like whether it's, you lived in a controlling home and you moved out, for college, and then you were like partying in college or something, for the first year with this freedom, like that would even be distorted Lilith. We all go through it. We all go through distorted Lilith at times. Oh my goodness. It's one of my favorite archetypes. P, I love you even more now because Lilith is one of mine as well. And I love Lilith because she does represent the full spectrum of it, because we all go through those distorted phases, right? And so when we're looking at Jenny Slate's sun moon with Lilith, the exaltation of that, the correct use of that is like being assertive and authentically you and confidence and following your desires, right? You can challenge the status quo because you're so confident in who you are. Well, you can see how that might slip into arrogance and using it against others and seeing yourself as better than others, right? So that's kind of the energy that she has the potential to have with her sun, moon, Lilith. And Ceres is with Lilith. You have Uranus with Lilith. she has a lot of potential there of kind of like her unique, again, Uranus with Lilith, her unique ideas and opinions from her human design body graph as well to help people. I don't know. Maybe she'll have a spiritual awakening. Maybe Jenny Slate will have a spiritual awakening through all this. And then she'll like ask Justin. This is wishful thinking. My cards have not confirmed that. I've not pulled cards to confirm that. Maybe wishful thinking. Maybe Jenny will, go to Justin and be like, I want to heal my inner child. Because actually, does anyone know? Actually, I had to ask you guys this. What her childhood was like? Because her chart is like rife with issues in childhood. Like a lot of issues in childhood. Jenny Slate's. So there might be trauma, there might be issues from her childhood. That is not an excuse. I often get people that leave comments on like my astrology content and stuff and say, and they said this about some of my Blake content around astrology, is it's not an excuse. No, it's not an excuse. I am definitely not saying that, because you have trauma, it's okay to treat people like crap, or because, you have hard aspects in your chart that it's okay to be a certain way. No, it explains their behavior, but it doesn't excuse the behavior. And then they have the choice to see this. Maybe Jenny Slate will see, oh no, please no, because then they'll take it down. I know some creators are getting their content pulled down from Blake and Ryan's team. So I hope she doesn't see this. So that's another point that really stands out for me is there's like, her chart has so much potential to do really good in this world. And I think that's one of the heartbreaking things is like, she chose a different path, and that's also on her. And maybe she'll choose again. I think we always, until the moment we die, have the ability to choose again. Maybe she'll have a spiritual awakening. She'll be like, WTF is going on? Why are we pulling down this guy? Although, like you saw in the tweets, apparently she has a history of selective feminism when it suits her. Lilith, trine, sun. I see you there. And then she also has, and see, this is why I'm saying she has Chiron with Algol. So Algol, for anyone that's newer here, is the blinking demon eye. We all have Algol in our chart. So it's not just Jenny Slate that has Algol. We all have Algol. But to see Algol with Chiron is a tough energy. So if someone is really struggling with if I have a client come to me for a call and they're like, I am really struggling with a certain area of life and I can't figure out what it is, I look to see where Algol is and what's conjunct. You wouldn't really look for trines or squares or anything to a point like Algol, but you're looking for conjunctions. And so you guys can pull that up even on like free, what I think it's astrodent.com will allow you, if you go to extra, one day I'll do a video walking you guys through it. But if you go scroll down and put like additional points, you can add Algol to see how Algol plays out in your chart. But that's a tough energy. So you have the blinking demon eye, which is like the muck of it, like you're just like tough energy with Chiron. So what that says to me is like relationships and groups, like there's one, it's interesting actually now I think about and sit with it, because it's a lot of pain in regards to relationships and groups, but it's also about being around a lot of wounded people. Now the exalted, again, so when I say exalted, it's like the higher expression. Okay, so we have the ability to be in the higher expression of energy, whether our body graph or astrology or in the shadow. So the higher expression of this energy of Algol and Chiron is like you're around healers, right? I remember when I was a kid, anyone else get told this by their mom? My mom used to tell me this all the time, like you are the product of the 5 people you hang around with the most. Taylor Swift, take that advice. But you are the product of the 5 people you hang around with the most. So that really stands true with this Algol Chiron energy, because if she's around a lot of healers, maybe she needs to like apologize to Justin and see if she can get in on his good graces. You're going to kind of be in that energy as well. But it's with Algol there, I'd say she's probably been more pulled towards away from that white moon, closer to Algol, and surrounding herself with the wrong ass people. And especially if you think back to her human design chart, was a channel of power, an archetype of power. So she's not just seeking out power for herself and leveraging her power, but she's wanting to be around. Oh shit, of course she is. Okay, I have to show, we're going to flip back to human design. God, I was like, this is going to be like a 30-minute live. It never is, guys. My clients always laugh too when I do like workshops and stuff. They're like, you said it was going to be an hour and 3 hours later. I talk so much. Weaponizes feminism like Blake. Yep. And a lot of the Reddit threads called her out on that. It's like feminism when it suits her. My mom still tells me that. Yeah, that is a good mom you have. Moms are smart. Now I'm like, is this my mom? My mom's name is Denise. So I'm like, is this my mom? I know she watches all my content. She messages me later and she'd be like, I like that sweater you wore. I see you're wearing, like, she got me this for Christmas. I see you're wearing the sweater that I got you. But she watches all my content. So that's so funny where I was just like, okay, anyway, perspective, but moms are smart. Mom, you are very smart. Whether you are watching right now or on the replay, you are very smart. You were right. You were right about 8 p.m. bedtimes. You were right about peace and quiet. You were right about so much. So much. Okay. Just flipping back really quick over to human design. Perspective power. It's funny because as I said those words in my head, I was like, ooh, I wonder what her perspective is. So she's meant to be able to see the power players and align herself with them. So if we go back, I'm so glad she's awesome. That's amazing. We love that you talk so much. The smile. That's so funny. Now I'm sweating. Now I'm like, oh gosh. Anyway, so that's something to keep in mind as well. So Jenny Slate has perspective of power. So she's meant to see who has the power in the room. And so if we go back to Chiron and Elgal, if she's like, for example, say she's around like Gandhi, she's going to see the power in the room, right? But it's a healer power. It's a good power. It's someone you want to be around, someone that's going to help you, someone that's going to help you evolve, spiritually evolve. And so she's going to be drawn to the power in the room. But I feel like someone like her that has power as her perspective, how she's meant to see the world, power design, including the archetype of power. And then we have this, like, you're either around people that are healers and drawn to them, or you're around people that are shady and going to hurt you and use you and like bad people to be around. Being in Hollywood, I don't know. I feel like it's very hard to surround yourself with people that are like healers and doing good in this world. But I don't know. My hope is, I know it's blind hope, guys. My motivation is hope. So I'm always going to be motivated by blind hope. I hope you guys still love me. I hope you guys are okay with that, because you're always going to hear me say like, my hope is, or that's how I'm, meant to be motivated in the world, is through hope. So my hope is that being around Justin, maybe if she's removed from Blake, and the energy of Blake can kind of like shift and heal. I don't know. I know it's blind hope, but that's my perspective or my motivation. I'm meant to be motivated by blind hope. Ocean Exploration says, why did Blake thank Austin Swift, Taylor's brother, in the end credits? There has to be more to the story. Deep dive, please. Yeah, I could do that. I can do that this weekend. Why not? Why not? You guys always drop those little nuggets, and then I end up deep diving and finding tweets from like 2011 from Jenny Slate. Okay, so that's the one thing I would say with Chiron 11th house with Elgal. There's also with Chiron and Taurus. So if you have Chiron and Taurus, guys, now, of course, it's going to be unique to your chart, but there can be, and that can signify a crisis of values, where because you lack that self-worth or low self-esteem, she has an undefined willpower center in her body graph. So, that potential trying to prove herself. Yeah, I could see it. Trying to prove herself, low self-esteem. You're like overcompensating by putting yourself with like people that, again, have power that you think can help get you ahead. But here's the interesting thing with this energy. And I think this is like a push-pull between her, because you have the white moon on the other side of Chiron. And the white moon, and this is a very strong influence on her chart, is healing others. It's like someone that's very spiritual, someone very creative. I'm going to say the words because it is what the energy is. But trust me, I'm not saying that she's currently operating like this. It's saying that someone like Jenny Slate has the gift to be a beacon of light and compassion. The energy is there. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys appreciate it. I know sometimes it can be frustrating when we're just like, no, it's a horrible person. And then I'm always just motivated by hope and to see the hope in the situation. I think the majority of the cast is afraid of being blacklisted and losing work if they speak up. I agree. And especially for someone like Jenny, if we look at her human design astrology, who might be prone to seeing the power in the room and connecting herself with the power on how she can get ahead. I think, when we pulled tarot cards for her and we saw like a hesitant yes, I think the only thing that would hold her back is that if she feels like they are losing too much power, because again, she's meant to see who has the power and align herself with the people that have the power. I think the only way she would back off and not support Blake is that. But yeah, so this white moon Chiron conjunction is definitely someone that's here to transform pain into wisdom if it's used right. Look, I'm like itching as I say that. I think it's a lot. Like, I think if she goes on a spiritual retreat there and, like does some deep healing, there's a lot of potential for her. Potentially. But then, actually, I just realized that too. Chiron's opposed Black Moon Lilith. All right. I don't know. Maybe that White Moon Lilith is fighting a losing battle because that's being a bully. White Moon Lilith might lose him. It's like the devil on her shoulder. She's got like the devil on one side, the angel on one side, and she's like hitting the angel, beating it as if it's Chris Evans, apparently. Because that's a tough energy. Yeah, I feel like White Moon Lilith over here as the healer is losing. She's losing the battle. She's trying. She's putting up a fight. But yeah, that's kind of bully energy. Yeah, that's like a very dark side of the nature when you're looking, especially Elgal and Chiron oppose, which we saw in her tweets. That's nothing new based on her own words, based on what she said in the podcast, saying that, oh yeah, I beat Chris. Like, he just takes it, except for the one day where he grabbed my wrist. Yeah, because he got tired of being beat on. And Uranus, semi-square south node. Yeah, this is like it's funny. The more you pull it apart, I didn't do a deep dive. Like I said, I always do this live with you guys so you can see my like true reaction on what's going on. I want you guys to see my true reaction on their chart. Yeah, that's a lot of sticky situations that she's put herself in. And then you also have, so for anyone that is new to esoteric astrology, so this is our friend Poseidon here. Poseidon is next to Pluto and Saturn, so they're conjunct. So Poseidon's going to give you that energy in this spot of like someone that's either a truth seeker or someone that's a deviant. It's basically like her energy, her chart is very much like healer or bully. Truth seeker or deviant, aligning with spiritual healers and surrounding yourself with spiritual healers that help you better yourself, or aligning yourself with people that are power hungry and manipulate and judge people and pull people down. Like, I've rarely seen such a chart that is so in opposition in that way. But this is like that position for Poseidon, especially with Saturn, especially with Pluto, someone that's manipulative, prone to tell lies to support themselves, to maintain their power. It's eye-opening. Can't believe I've never heard of human design until I'm 37. That's how I felt when I found human design. I had always known astrology from the time I was a kid. I was obsessed with astrology. I have like star tattoos everywhere, galaxy tattoos. But when I found human design, I was like, the connection between that and astrology just made so much sense for me. And it made me feel like you feel so much shame around so much. Like Ra Rahu, who channeled the human design system, says we spend our entire lives trying to shore up our weaknesses rather than just being who we are. And so when I find between the two, astrology and human design, it's just like that permission slip of like, one, these are your shadows. What are you going to do about it? It's what I often say with clients, right? When they're like, oh my God, I can relate to that shadow. Well, now you know. Now you can't pretend. Now you can't pretend that it's not there. Like Carl Jung would say, like, as long as those shadows are unconscious, they rule our life and we call it fate. But as soon as someone calls out those shadows, you have a choice. You have a choice to do different and be better, or you have a choice to continue going down the shadows. But I feel like people like this probably never even care. Like Justin is like, he's a different, he's like a unicorn in Hollywood. How many Hollywood people are going on spiritual awakenings and inner child healing. Like I can't imagine that's common in Hollywood. But what do I know? I'm not in Hollywood. But I can't imagine it is. Like I've done human design readings, especially years ago, for like a lot of people on TV, not at this level. Musicians, actors, politicians. Over the years, I've done a lot of that, but not the level of these guys. I mean, I'd be open to it. I'd be open. Justin wants to call and be more than happy to. But yeah, that's a tough energy. This also could, like the Saturn, Poseidon, Pluto energy. This is why I said to you guys, like, I wonder if she's had issues in her childhood, because that can be like a lost, confused energy, abandonment energy, and this need to accept the truth. One of the things we say in human design is Saturn leaves you alone as long as you're on track. But as soon as you're off track, Saturn's going to kind of like beat you down to show you. It's like that signpost, like pay attention. So if you guys are looking at your human design chart, that's what Saturn tells you. Pay attention, like you're off track. So this Saturn's kind of here, like just face it. Just face what happened. Face your shadows, own up to it. And when you face your shadows and you own up to it, you can move on. But she has to, with Saturn here, face her shadows and own up to it so that she can move on. Otherwise, she's going to be stuck in this pattern. And it looks like something from her past. I don't know her history enough to say what that could be, but yeah, that's wild. So anyway, that's a quick kind of points I want to pull out for Jenny, because I do have to get on my call. It's at 11 Eastern and I have 9 minutes. So I'm not eating. Luckily, I have meal replacements. Thank God for Vega Sport and the company Vega, because they keep me fueled when I'm going back to back on calls. And when I say I'm going to hang out with my community for like half an hour and it's an hour and a half later. So what are you guys feeling about this? I just want to like ground for a minute with you guys. We talked about a lot today. So I just want to like ground. Where's Mel with the sage? Do you have sage, Mel? Okay. So funny story. I have sage in crystals and everything set up in my office, but I have chickens in my office right now. So I can't stream in my office because they're so loud. I agree. It's so sad that she hasn't healed yet. I hope she gets some spiritual healing. I really hope so. I hope that for everyone. You know, I really believe that no one's fully a lost cause until, you know, well, maybe there's some people that are fully lost causes. Again, okay, it's my hope, motivation, but the majority, like 98% of the population, until you die, you have an option. There's certainly people that will never and are not designed to change, but it's always my hope that they do. Reynolds was bullied really as a teenager and became a bully. Jenny was bullied. Okay, there you go. So she did have a bit of a tough past. Interesting. Thank you for confirming that. So that's confirming that energy that we saw with Poseidon, Saturn, and Pluto of like, you have to come to terms with your past. Some people said that she's not hot enough to date Chris and became a bully. Interesting. I feel like Justin and Keanu would vibe. Yes, I gotta bring Keanu and everything. Ruthie's always got Keanu at the go. I love it. How can you not, though? He seems like such a cool, like, under the radar dude. I don't know. Yeah, we do need more people in Hollywood like Justin. He's a rare gem. My hope is that Hades and Kronos is doing the work to get rid of the filth this year. So I talked about it. If you guys go under my astrology playlist, I think it's January 18th, 19th, I started talking about Hades and Kronos this year, but it's like pulling out all the filth. My hope is like there can be kind of like some derubbling, saging. Our girls got us. I don't think it'll be Jenny. You think someone else is going to come out? Oh my goodness. It is such a pleasure to be here with you guys, Mel. Thank you for hanging out with me and us and the community. Justin faces shadows and continues to do the inner work. This means self-reflection and awareness. Yep. And they just do not have. I agree. I think this trial with Blake might be a thing that changes her because she's going to get ripped. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to catch up on what everyone else is streaming. I don't know if anyone else has talked about all of Jenny's tweets and everything. You guys give me nuggets of things and then I go down these rabbit holes and find them. But I don't know if anyone else is talking about this, but you better bet, as I'm sure everyone here can guess, as if she comes out and if it's her name attached, people will have a field day with this stuff. Liz, is that from interesting. Is that from his podcast? Can you imagine? Nobody's perfect. We all have the capacity to change and grow. I agree. That's why I love this community. Because you guys aren't afraid to like call out bullies, but you also hold space for, and that's what makes this community so special, guys. You also hold space for, I'm going to call out bullies. I'm going to call out injustices. I'm going to take a stand for people that can't defend themselves or weren't able to defend themselves. And I also hold space for people can change. And that's what makes you guys you. And that's what makes this space so special. Yeah, being spiritual in Hollywood is nearly impossible. How do you be? Like, guys, I literally streamed with you guys the amended lawsuit, and then I got the stomach flu. I told, like, my husband was laughing. He's like, you kept saying you were going to be sick on the live stream. I'm like, because I was feeling sick, and I literally got sick from just streaming it. I can't imagine living it. Interesting, Astrid. Interesting. I think she'll flip to Justin's side if she sees Justin's winning, or because in her heart she knows the truth. Yep. That's a good point too. It doesn't even matter who comes out. The defamation is that he sexually harassed her, not someone else. Yep. And at that point, it's just a PR battle. That's a good point. You know, it's just like, now it's just a PR battle. Yep. I agree. See, I'm like, I gotta go, guys. I'm like, I'm not even gonna have time to pee now. That Justin will be the catalyst of Hollywood changing in some aspects. I hope so. Only this kind of man can shift things. I agree. Yes, thank you, Shay. You guys are the best. You guys are always looking out for me. Make sure to like and subscribe. I always forget to tell and to say that, but you guys have my back. This community has my back. I genuinely appreciate you guys. Like I said, at the start of this year, the only reason I hadn't done this sooner is I was like, no one would care about this. Like, no one would want to talk about this with me. No one would want to hang out with it about this. And so to have you guys come together, it might be a slower grow than someone that's just doing straight celebrity updates, but this community means a lot to me. And I'd rather grow slower with the right people than grow faster with the wrong people. I think the other day, I think Ashley said something about the Illuminati. I did. Yeah. And in my mind, I was thinking about the Illuminati doesn't even want Blake and Ryan Taylor anymore. Probably not. All right, my friends, it was such an honor to hang out with you guys and spend my morning with you guys. Honestly, I enjoy every single minute, and I just feel blessed that I get to hang out with such an incredible community. Like, every day I wake up shocked. So thank you for being here. If, you know, who knows, guys, I say that I'll see you Monday, but, you know, if Blake drops something, you know I'll be here with you. So watch notifications. If anything crazy drops, I will hop on with you guys. But otherwise, I'm planning on just like chilling this weekend. I'll get you guys a video of the rescue animals as well, so you can see who you're supporting with the channel as well, because that's who you support, is the farm animals in our rescue. All right, my friends, have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Yes, stand by. You got it, Leo.